happy that so many groups work together.
All right, thank you. My name is Cuddle. On our team, we have
Carlene. Carol.
Peter.
And yeah, we're a Sapling Detector. So can we maximize this? Yep. Computers. All right, so we're Sapling Detector, and so we built a program that could automatically take these pictures of trees and convert them to this text format that was just described. And so.
Yep, so this is a phylogenetic tree. You've probably seen a lot of these in your textbooks when you guys are studying science, but it basically shows the evolutionary history, showing the relationship between plants and different animals and different biological species. And the group before did a really good job saying we basically want to translate this, which is what you're going to see in all the research papers and old textbooks, and make it machine readable, searchable, and just in a digital format.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Colleen. And so to automate the conversion, we used machine learning and computer vision. So the primary component of this was a library called OpenCV, which kind of has a lot of functions kind of automatically written, and which makes things a little easier, but you still have to understand how it works. And what it takes is the individual pixel values of an image, because a computer doesn't see like we humans do. It kind of only sees each individual pixel on the screen, so all these various kind of individual little pixels here, all million or whatever of them, and tries to figure out what's actually happening. And so it takes a little bit of math. And so like good computer scientists, the most important thing is to take really complicated problems and kind of decompose them into smaller, individual, easier to do problems. And so we broke this down into a series of steps. So the first step was to take OpenCV and find a way to extract from any arbitrary tree or phylogenetic trees provided just the contour, the shape of the individual tree. And so this will kind of give us an understanding of how it's all connected. Then once we have that, we need to use some way of finding the individual little nodes of the edge. So they're known in computer science as the leaves of a tree, and the top on the left side, the root of the tree, and how they're all connected by these kind of separations. And then we used graph algorithms, more computer science, to identify the root nodes. And so it's usually the most isolated node, so off to the side all by itself, sad and lonely. And then we simplified the connections to kind of not have a lot of little elbows. You'll see what I mean in a second. And so.
The other group kind of talked about this step, but once we actually have those nodes, then we scrape the image for all the text. And Tesseract is a really good program, but it works a lot better when you give it small images. So we try to just take out individual words, pass it through Tesseract so it could give us a better word, and then kind of assign that back to the node using a nearest neighbor algorithm.
And so what our program essentially did is found those little boxes around the text, which we could then take out and just read the text itself. And what Carol did is also mapped each individual edge to the color, and so we know where each individual leaf's text is. And so
this algorithm works not just on simple trees like that, but can work on arbitrarily shaped trees. Doesn't have to be angular. We have this circular one that is mapping the nodes right here, showing our connections in the tree inside of a very complicated tree. Now, the last step of this is extracting this text and displaying it. Where we are right now, weren't able to get to the point where we could output the final text format, but we have those trees in memory, and as the last group showed, we can make that step to the last display. One of the intuitions that we made at this step is that Tesseract is biased towards the English language, and the scientific names are tortured Latin and Greek. So with a big shout out to a fellow hacker, Giorgio, we were able to retrain Tesseract to understand this really bad Greek and Latin, greatly increasing our accuracy at pulling out scientific names.